What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to be working on my 2023 Toyota Supra, basically recoding quite a few of the factory settings to make the car a lot better. There's a lot of aspects to cars that you can actually code out and change, a lot of things that you can't really normally do, because there's some things in this car that are less than ideal, some fake aspects about the car, and some things that just don't work all too good. So the way we're going to be doing that is using BimmerCode. A lot of you have probably heard of this app. It's pretty neat for BMWs and of course the Toyota Supra. You can see it right here. You can also use a ton of other different apps. Now what you're going to need to use that is a Bluetooth OBD2 adapter. So here's what I'm going to be using. This is the KIES Motorsports Bluetooth adapter. I have this on our website, linked down below if you're interested. You can use this along a lot of different apps, not just BimmerCode. I'm just using BimmerCode because I'm used to it and it does pretty much everything I need to do. But you're going to need one of these adapters, so check out that link down below. So what we're going to be doing is driving the car around a little bit, messing with it and seeing some of these settings. The auto start stop is a really weird feature to have in a manual transmission, so we have an adjustment for that. Also, there's a lot of fake sounds this thing makes. We're going to adjust that. And then there's a few other things within the software that we're going to adjust. So let's go for a spin and show you how weird some of the aspects are with this car. So some of the main things that we're going to be looking at changing in the car is the auto start stop feature, the fake engine sounds this car makes, seatbelt warning light, and then the auto dipping for the mirror when you go into reverse. And then of course we'll look at all sorts of other settings that you're able to adjust with the car. So first thing is the sounds the car makes. So this has a normal mode and a sport mode. When you put it into sport mode, the active exhaust opens up. Obviously a lot of the parameters in the car change to make it tighter feeling and more fun to drive. When you hit sport mode, what it also does is basically plays fake engine sounds through the speakers to make the car sound like it's louder on the inside. A lot of cars do that, so that's nothing exactly new. However, that's a fake gimmick, quite honestly. You know, when I do a full exhaust on this car, that's gonna make the car sound good. I don't need it to be playing fake engine sounds in the speakers. So I'm in normal mode right now. Third gear acceleration. All right, so then if I go into sport mode, now the extra sound you're gonna hear is all fake. Definitely hear, hopefully you heard that sound difference, but it obviously does that. I'm not the biggest fan of it, especially once going aftermarket with the exhaust system. So just to do another quick test right now, in normal mode, slow acceleration in 5th gear. You can definitely hear it turning on and turning off in the sport mode. It's all a gimmick. Now another thing I'm gonna tweak, and this, don't yell at me for this one, is the seatbelt warning light. Obviously drive with your seatbelt. When I get into the neighborhood, if I'm like a couple houses down, I might just go ahead and take my seatbelt off because I'm like right there, driving it around, something like that in the neighborhood. I might do that. So to me, it's kind of annoying to have that warning light go off. I'm obviously gonna use it out in the real world, but once I get into the neighborhood, I might just pop my seatbelt off, is what it is. So the other thing is the auto start stop feature. I've never owned a manual car with this feature, and I've pretty much never driven a car with this feature. It is awful. Already it is so sensitive in the Supra. So right now I'm pulling into my house. The driveway is a little steep. Put it in neutral just to slow down a little bit. Sometimes the engine will shut off right as I'm trying to get in the driveway, but as soon as I try to give some more gas, it instantly turns back on. Honestly, auto start stop is a complete gimmick. It's all about trying to save gas. It's not doing that. I highly doubt this system even ever saves anybody gas. If anything, it wastes more gas, I think. I just think it's a stupid feature. But right now, using it, getting in the driveway, if I slow down too much, the engine will shut off and then turn right back on so quickly. Of course, it's not doing it exactly right now, but it's just really weird, especially if I go to neutral at all and stop. It'll just shut the engine off and then turn it right back on. It's a horrible system in a manual transmission, so every time I get in the car, I have to turn it off, which is crazy. Even in the automatic Supra, it always defaults to be on and working, so every time you get in, you have to turn the system off. Now the next thing is when you go into reverse, it's gonna automatically dip the side mirror. Now you can turn this off by depending on how you have this switch. If this is over into the right position, if I go into reverse, the side mirror doesn't do anything. So that is cool at least. However, if you want to use that feature, you leave that over on the left side. And now when I go into reverse, you can see the auto mirror is going to automatically go downwards. Now the problem is, this is not a one size fits all. Now, when I had my white Supra, it went really far down, and it really depends on your height. You know, not everybody, his head is gonna be in the exact same position. So to me, my eyes, that might go farther down versus the next guy who drives this car. A lot of people had a problem with me not liking that feature in my white Supra, mainly because whenever I would hop in and go into reverse, it would go so far down. In fact, it would go all the way down to where all I could see is there, the bottom of the tire. Hopefully you can see that from this perspective. To me, that is an awful angle. Now in this Supra at least, and let me bring it back up, if I have this system on, you can see it automatically going down. It does a pretty good job. It goes towards the rear bumper of the car to where I at least have perspective. So what we're gonna do is adjust that just a little bit higher, mainly because I can't really see the Audi behind me. So I'm gonna want it to only dip to maybe right here instead of going farther down to here. Now my old Supra went even farther down to where I just didn't have perspective. I like it because when I'm in reverse, I can easily see a little bit behind me. But as you can see, I would hit something before I actually see it. So having something like that is just a little bit better to where I can see backwards a little better in the car. So the way you're going to want to do this is go ahead and plug in your OBD2 adapter and then triple tap your engine start stop button. That's going to put your Supra into a diagnostic mode. And then of course connect your phone's Wi-Fi to the adapter. The code is on the adapter itself for the Wi-Fi password. Then we are at our main screen of BimmerCode where you can see everything that is adjustable. We have the active sound design. That's where you can adjust the fake engine sounds. So right there, if you click into it, you have unassigned and then deactivated. If I hit deactivated and then hit code, that is going to change it to where sport mode and normal mode doesn't make a difference. It's not going to play the fake sounds. You're only going to hear the real sounds that the car is actually physically making. In advanced crash safety module, you have a few things you're able to adjust in here. Now we have our seatbelt reminder. You're able to adjust that. You can see the not active for a few different things. Then our air conditioning, there's a few things here. I don't really mess with any of this stuff. Doesn't seem all too important. And then the engine control unit. Here's our engine start stop feature. So the memory, that's the biggest thing. You can see how I have it on active right now. That's where if I turn this off, it's going to stay off until I physically turn it back on. Now, if I'm at like a red light or something to where I know I'm going to be sitting there for like 2 minutes or 5 minutes, I will turn that system on, let the car shut off and just do its thing. But 99% of the time when you're stopping and then within a couple seconds starting again, the engine turning on and off is wasting more gas. So it's such a gimmick to even have that in cars. It's really stupid. Now we have our head unit you can adjust. In here you're able to adjust a few different things like the warning chime. Right now we have the stock one. You can have the BMW i, the normal Beamer, the Mini or a Rolls Royce one. So it's really cool to scroll through all of them. Volume from startup, Apple CarPlay full screen. From what I remember, I think 2020 at least, my old Supra, the Apple CarPlay was never full screen. It was only like half of it, and you had a little bit of a screen on the side. So this is where you can make it full screen. My car, it was already full screen. I think that's just 2023 in general, and maybe some other ones that were updated. And then our start screen, you're able to adjust there as well. You have a few more in here, like the logo. You can actually have all these different BMW logos. I'm going to keep it on the Supra one though. I know some people will put an M logo, which is pretty neat to see. Now another thing you can do, if I disconnect, you can go into the BMW Z4. But here is the automatic mirror tilt. You can see right now mine is at 71%. I think my white Supra was probably at 100%. That's why it went way far down, which was just not really useful or helpful. You know, seeing the bottom of my tire when I'm backing up doesn't give me any perspective. I think 50% is probably what I would really like ideally on this car. So that's kind of the main look at how you use the BimmerCode app and everything. And of course you can use different apps on this like I said. But with those all said, now let's go take the car for a spin and see what changes we've made. Alright, so with a few things adjusted now, the car started up with the auto start stop off. So now if I go up to somewhere where I need to slow down really quick, look at that, nothing shutting off weird or anything like that, no more. That is a must have. I think every Supra owner, go ahead and deactivate that because that is the dumbest thing ever. Next up is the sound, the fake sounds this car makes. So starting up and going into normal mode, sounds just like it did before. And then if I hit sport mode, same exact sounds. It doesn't do anything, even though we have that active valve in the back, the engine tuning and stuff. Obviously you're still going to hear like the pops and stuff, but that is happening out the tailpipes, not inside the cabin. So going back and forth between the two, you don't hear any difference whatsoever. So basically the stock Supra, stock exhaust, everything you're hearing on the inside is fake when you go into sport mode. It doesn't actually make any difference. From the outside, you can tell there's a little bit more sound. The valve opening doesn't really do much, honestly. It doesn't make it crazy much louder in the back, but there's just a little bit extra sound you're gonna hear back there. But now it just sounds the same inside the car, going back and forth between sport mode and normal mode. Alright, that was normal mode, and then sport mode. Obviously you can hear the car, it's not quiet, but it was the exact same tone either drive mode. So there's always some funny things about the car's stock, and this is a lot of cars in general. I'm not just making fun of the Supra on this. And I like the side mirror much better at 50%. It's a little bit better for my taste. You know, when I did this on the white Supra, a lot of people, you know, were telling me that it worked perfect for them. If your head is in a different location, if my head is down here, it's gonna look different at the exact same angle. So everybody's obviously gonna be different, so you can set that to your liking, which makes it to where it's a really functional use. And I like the use of that when it works in the correct angle. When it's way too far down, it just doesn't work for me whatsoever. But now setting it a little bit differently works pretty darn good. But there is a quick little video just kind of showing some things you're able to tweak within the car. There's even more things you can do, so definitely, you know, get one of those cool apps and get that module to explore it for yourself and really fine-tune your car in ways that you didn't think you could do. It is a nice touch to be able to do all that stuff. So I will have that adapter linked down below, of course. Definitely check it out. But that is it then for today's video, hacking into the Supra's computer system, fixing some of the gimmicky settings that cars these days are going to come with. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content, and I'll see you all in the next video.